Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Andrew, and we are in week 14 of the 170 Alpha Warrant Officer Basic course. So we just this last Thursday completed our operating system test, which the entire class passed, first time go, and we have just started moving into our networking portion for CCTC. So basically for the one day we hit on Friday is pretty much going over all networking fundamentals, and we'll kind of bleed into that a little bit more in the next few days. Our networking block is going to be about 3 weeks long, so some things we're kind of touching on is your the OSI Model Overview, so briefly going over those 7 layers, your physical, data link, network, transport, session, presentation, and application. Acronym I've always used to kind of maintain or remember that is please do not throw stale pizza away. Please drop a comment under the video if you've used other acronyms to kind of remember that OSI model. Kind of just always nice to see everyone's different way of kind of memorizing that the overview for it. Also been going over things such as IP addresses, so covering basics between IPv4 versus IPv6, private versus public addresses, concepts of subnetting, which obviously is crucial for managing network segmentations, common networking devices, so describing roles of such as routers, switches, hubs, and network communication, highlighting how they differ and kind of where they're used within an organization. Going over the difference between TCP versus UDP, so explaining these two main protocols, the transport data focusing on differences between connection-oriented TCP and connectionless UDP communications, and then basic networking topographies, so your star, mesh, bus, and explaining how different setups impact network performance, redundancy, and scalability. Pretty much very rudimentary, I'd say, when it comes to going into some things that hopefully you should have already a good idea on, or you can kind of do some quick Google dorking or kind of Google skimming to kind of do some quick read-ups on, hey, what is TCP? What is UDP? What are the types of network topographies of how those can kind of help on performance and redundancy? Other than that, networking, our next big hurdle, I would say, for most of the class is just as we get into it in the next few weeks, is going to be our network tunneling and then reverse shell. So that will be used pretty tremendously during this next portion of the course, so we're pretty excited. And as always, the way CCTC works is as we go from OS to networking to our final block in security, all these blocks are going to keep kind of stacking up upon each other, which will kind of build up upon the kind of final test out that we'll have to do here come December. So, but other than that, everything's been going great. The course has been going great. Everyone's been having a good mentality and good training in the whole process of things. Great note-taking is really important when it comes to things you don't understand, as well as questions. The way that they're still kind of like gamifying the study sessions of this is you'll go in for your morning brief or PowerPoint on the topic that we're learning for the day, and then you get released, and then you get into our environment where we have like kind of like that CTF mentality where they'll give you the start flag. It opens up a number of questions. This last block we had about 50 questions we had to go through, and it's more or less just like kind of going through those and understanding. We were using Wireshark, for example, to kind of go through a packet that we had to go through and shift through on different views to kind of get the information we had to get to answer all the questions. So if you're not familiar with those things, or if you haven't used Wireshark or that stuff before, don't sweat it. They can do a quick walkthrough and how-to guide while in course. Also, I'm going to be dropping in different URLs, maybe a link or two for a few videos on some pretty decent kind of basic how-tos on Wireshark and kind of how do you get that stuff done. So other than that, course is going great. Everyone's excited to graduate, and I will catch you guys on week 15 here next Friday. So hope everyone's doing well, and see you guys on the next video.